That song was the Battle Cry of Freedom, which was very popular during the days of the Civil War. My name is Damon Fordham, and I'm an adjunct professor of history at Charleston Southern University, as well as an author and historian. And I'm here to talk to you about what is believed to be the very first celebration of Memorial Day. Now, what we do know is as follows. Back about in the 1990s, I was a researcher at the Avery Research Center for African American History and Culture here in Charleston, South Carolina. And a historian from Yale University named David Black came in there one day and asked me for some information regarding we believe was the first celebration of Memorial Day. Well, I went out to Charleston County Library, and I found a copy of the Charleston Daily Courier newspaper from May the 2nd, 1865, and it told the following story. And this is a direct reading of that, by the way. It talked about a place called the Race Course, which is today known as Hampton Park in downtown Charleston. And it went as follows. The Martyrs of the Race Course, Charleston, South Carolina. The ceremonies of the dedication of the ground where are buried 257 Union soldiers took place in the presence of an immense gathering yesterday. Fully 10,000 persons were present, mostly of the colored population. Remember, folks, this is 1865, okay? The ground had been previously laid out, the mounds of the graves newly raised, and the fine substantial fence erected around the exclosure by 24 colored men, friends of the martyrs, and members of the Patriotic Association of Colored Men. The exercises on the ground commenced with the reading of a psalm, a singing of the hymn, followed by a prayer. The procession was formed shortly after 9 o'clock and made a beautiful appearance. Nearly everyone present bearing a handsome bouquet of flowers. The colored children, about 2,800 in number, marched first over the burial ground, strewing the graves with flowers as they passed. After the children came the Patriotic Association of Colored Men, an association formed for the purpose of assisting in the distribution of the freedmen's supplies. These numbered about 100 members. The Mutual Aid Society, association formed for the purpose of burying poor colored people, about 200 strong, followed next. These were followed by the citizens generally, nearly all with bouquets, which were also laid out among the graves. While standing among the grass, the school children sang the Star-Spangled Banner, America, and Rally Round the Flag, also known as the Battle Cry of Freedom, which I played just now, marching John Barnes' Body, which incidentally is today known as the Battle Hymn of the Republic. You know, glory, glory, hallelujah, and so forth. The graves at the close of the procession had all the appearance of a mass of roses. Among those present in the speaker's stand inside the enclosure were General Hartwell, Colonel Gary, Colonel Beecher, Reverend Mr. Lowe, Mr. James Redpath, and others. And then the 54th Massachusetts Regiment, which is best known from the movie Glory, they were also present and did a little display at that ceremony. Well, several years later, after this, you had a Union general by the name of John A. Logan, who was the head of the Grand Old Army of the Republic, which was an organization of Union soldier veterans. So on May the 5th, 1868, he declared that every following May the 30th would be known as Decoration Day, when the graves of the soldiers of the Union would be decorated. And this later evolved into Memorial Day, which celebrated all the soldiers who died for the United States. And even when my mother was a little girl back in the 1920s and 30s, she remembered going down to Beaufort, South Carolina, and decorating the graves of the Union soldiers. So anyway, to commemorate this place in Charleston's history, very recently a ceremony was held organized by Miss Lorna Gathers of the Postal Department, where I read the original newspaper story from which this took place. And so basically this is widely believed to be the origins of Memorial Day. And it's important that we know that type of thing because, you see, so often stories such as this time get lost and forever in these old newspapers, and it's important that those of us who are historians go up and dig this stuff up and put it out there so that the future generations will know and will honor this. This is Damon Fordham talking about what is believed to have been the first Memorial Day.